everyone. Today we're actually talking about another disappearance, and it is a very strange disappearance that involves two roommates. 25-year-old Ira Briscoe and his roommate, 49-year-old Limon Little, were living in West Plains, Missouri at the time of their disappearance. It's been 3 years and they are still nowhere to be found. Police won't even confirm if their disappearances are related or if they could be related to any drug activity in the area. Ira grew up in the country with his family and he loved to play guitar. He was actually teaching his young son to play. And when he was younger, he actually battled cancer, leaving him to live life at full throttle according to his family. Ira was last seen by his mother, Marilyn Briscoe, on December 17th of 2020, and his parents reported him missing on December 23rd. So you can just tell how close of a family they were just by how soon his parents reported him missing after they had last seen him. And since her son has gone missing, Marilyn has been trying as hard as she can to get information. She's gone as far as searching dumpsters and caverns when they're tipped off for them, as well as doing vigils and releasing balloons. She has done as much as she can in the last 2 to 3 years. Now, I did say that police won't say much about Ira and Limon's disappearance. However, the Howell County Sheriff's Office did post on their Facebook saying that he was reported missing under suspicious circumstances. And this is because the family has said that Ira had gotten involved in drugs around the years before he disappeared and that he could have seen the cartels as a lucrative business opportunity.
The family admits over the years Ira had gotten involved in drugs, possibly seeing the cartels as a lucrative opportunity.
You don't have to worry about me no more, Mom. I'm in with the cartels, and he had X's and stuff on his wrist, and I'm like, oh Lord.
Days after Ira and Limon's disappearance, it turns out that Ira's vehicle, which was a 1995 Mercury Sable, was actually stolen and taken to a scrapyard where it was then spray painted. Now, there's a big controversy with this if it was still even Ira's vehicle at the time it was found in the scrapyard, because the people that took it said that it was given to them, which honestly, if you stole it, I feel like it's something you would say. A close friend of Marilyn's named Christy Nichols Clark, who also handles the Bring Ira Home Facebook page, has said that she was very close with the family. Her children went to school with Ira, and that when she found out that Ira was missing, it was heartbreaking. She said, and I quote, "As a child, Ira was sweet, but had a mischievous and funny side. He had a strong personality. He was extremely helpful to anyone who needed it and was known to offer his home to anyone who needed a safe place to stay, a trait he learned from his mother, who he dearly loved. He had a beautiful smile and was extremely close to his father and big sister. Family meant a lot to Ira, and he never let a day pass without contacting his mom or dad." End quote. Which, as I said, the family contacted authorities pretty quickly after they last seen him, and that is because Ira was so close to his family, despite his struggles, despite some of the things he was getting into that may not have been even legal. He was still very close with his family, and his family loved him. Christy also said that one of the lost conversations that Ira had with his mother was about some people he had previously been friends with that he was concerned about. One of these people had actually previously attacked him and broken his jaw, and apparently there's actually a video of this attack that was actually sent to Marilyn. And on top of all of that craziness, about a month before Ira's disappearance, his vehicle was burned to the ground. So clearly the people that Ira was associating himself with were not good people if they were breaking his jaw and setting his vehicle on fire. And I am not saying that to victim blame him, but clearly he had a very high-risk lifestyle. And clearly someone had something against him, and clearly something happened to him. And I've said that the sheriff's office isn't releasing much information, but that doesn't mean that they aren't working this case. At this point, the sheriff's office has issued multiple search warrants. They've excavated potential burial grounds. They've also conducted over 100 interviews, but still there is nothing, or at least nothing public. The Center for Missing Persons President Law Olmstead said, and I quote, "I just believe that the investigation never started on the right foot. I don't think the home was ever searched. I don't think any electronic communication devices, phones, computers, anything were searched," end quote. Which, if that didn't happen, that is a big problem.
So the only timeline that we have is December 17th, 2020, the last time that Ira was seen. Do we know anything about that day, who he talked to? Does his mom have any information about that?
No, there's nothing. And again, something that we had touched on prior is the home where he and Little resided was ransacked. Well, part of that statement that the mother made about that in the media was that there were SD cards removed from the location, that she knew that, and that there were also cameras, or the SD cards possibly on some cameras that were out in the yard somewhere, some kind of like hunting type cameras that were taken. outside of that, there's really been no solid information, not even to say that's solid.
Now, I've spoken a lot about Ira, but I haven't really said much about Limon. And that's because this man seems to be a whole nother mystery to this entire case. And that's because there's virtually nothing on him. Olmstead saying, and I quote, "Limon Little is like a mystery in himself. I've only seen one photograph of him online this whole time," end quote. On top of there only being one photo of him on the history of the internet, it seems like, there seems to be no family or friends that have come out to speak on his behalf either. It also turns out that Limon was actually last seen on December 15th, which was 2 days before Ira was last seen.
And Limon Little is like a mystery in himself. I've only seen one photograph of him online this whole time. I've heard no statements, no one in his family, nowhere in the community, no one has said anything about him, his character, what kind of person he was, what he did for a living, even what the relationship is between the two gentlemen, how they met. There's really nothing, and it's very, again, very confusing.
Now, despite these two men not being found, the police have actually made 9 separate arrests on unrelated charges in this case. So clearly something is going on here. But where does that leave us? Marilyn's friend Christy has a theory, and her theory is that both Ira and Limon were lured to a location by that man that ended up breaking Ira's jaw. For some reason, Ira and Limon ended up being murdered, and then their bodies were disposed of. And it seems that they have this theory because Ira was actually dating a girl on and off that was connected to this undisclosed mystery man that broke Ira's jaw. And the family believes that this girl also might know something. Now, on top of all of this, a day before Ira went missing, 2 people exchanged gunfire inside of a home in Koshkonong. And it seems that police as well as the family believe that this incident may be related to what happened to Ira. Christy also has said that they've provided police with a tip of a phone call that had been placed by this mystery man who broke Ira's jaw, where he admitted that he had involvement in Ira's disappearance. So, I don't know. And at this point, it doesn't seem that the name of this mystery man has been released online. Honestly, it's kind of hearsay at this point. So honestly, it might be better that his name isn't released at this point. But if this mystery man did break Ira's jaw, his vehicle did get set on fire, there was this gunfire happening in this home, there's a lot of stuff happening in this area that isn't good, and Ira seemed to be involved in. So clearly, he got tangled up with the wrong people, it seems like, and something happened to him. And it seems that his mother and his family also believe that Ira is no longer alive, and they're trying to basically find his body at this point. Now, with the way that police have been so quiet on this case, but they've still seemed to go deep enough that they've arrested 9 people and charged them with unrelated charges, I feel like this case is a lot bigger and a lot deeper than anyone knows, especially if it's dealing with drug cartels and people that are involved in shit like that. I feel like the police have a huge investigation, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, especially since the sheriff's office came out and told KY3, and I quote, "The gravity of this case has been prioritized above other significant cases, and the man-hours accumulated during this investigation process is expansive. Lastly, the Howell County Sheriff's Office will continue to remain vigilant in gaining the necessary closure for all of those involved," end quote. So there's something bigger here, I think. But if anyone out there knows anything, I do urge you to come forward and let authorities know. I will leave information linked down below of the people you can contact. Ira's mother and his family deserve closure on what happened to him, and honestly, we need to know what happened to Limon as well. Even though it doesn't seem that anyone has come out that has cared about him in his life, maybe there has to be people out there that did or still do, and I'm sure they would like answers as well. And if they were murdered, the people that did this need to be held responsible, because clearly there are a lot of bad people in this area that shouldn't be out walking the streets. It doesn't matter what Ira was involved in. He still deserves justice. He still deserves to be found. At one point, this was Marilyn's little baby boy. This is still her baby boy, and she deserves answers for him. She deserves to know the truth. So as always, if there are any updates, I will keep you all updated on this case. I really do hope Ira can be found and everyone involved can be put the justice, and I do hope Limon can be found as well. This is a really strange one. There's not that much information on it, but I still wanted to cover it. It was a viewer request, and if any of you have any other requests out there of cases you want me to cover and look into, let me know, because even if they're small cases like this, I still want to cover them and get the word out. Because honestly, smaller cases like this sometimes need more coverage than bigger cases, and I think it's more worth, I don't want to say more worth covering them because every case deserves to be covered, but these smaller cases clearly aren't being talked about as much. There's not that much information, but they still need to be out there because maybe the right tip can come in or the right lead to solve the case. As always, if you're not subscribed, I definitely recommend you hitting that subscribe button. It allows me to continue to create content like this. It helps spread the word on these cases. And at the end of the day, I hope you all stay safe out there, lock your windows and doors, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.